The phone rang at 1:17 a.m. My brother's number lit up the screen. A detective. A man who rarely shook, never stuttered. But tonight, his voice cracked. "I'm reviewing surveillance footage from a homicide downtown, 10 minutes ago." His breath sounded thin, stretched. "Why are you calling me?" Silence. Then a tremor. "Because your wife is the prime suspect. I'm looking at her right now, holding the murder weapon." I laughed, sharp, instinctive. "That's impossible. She's upstairs, asleep." A pause. He lowered his voice. "Leave the house, now." My chest froze. The line went dead. I stared at the staircase. Every shadow stretched long across the floor. The house seemed too quiet, like the silence itself was waiting to fracture. I wanted to believe he was wrong, that the grainy footage was a trick of the light, that the woman in the video wasn't the same one lying in my bed. But something inside me shifted, something cold. I stood at the foot of the stairs, listening. No movement above, just the steady hum of the house. Her purse lay on the counter, the zipper open. I saw a smear of something dark near the seam. Not blood, lipstick. Too careless for her. She was meticulous about appearances, always polished, always precise. I told myself it meant nothing, but the unease spread. I checked the garage. Her car was still warm. She claimed she hadn't left all night, but the heat radiating off the hood whispered otherwise. When I crawled back into bed beside her, she stirred. Her breathing slowed into practiced sleep, a little too perfect. I turned my face to the ceiling and let the questions burrow in. Where had she gone? Why lie? Why was my brother so sure? The longer I listened to her measured breaths, the more I realized I didn't know who I was lying next to. The next days, I played my role. Husband, companion, silent observer. I watched her pour coffee, kiss my cheek, smile like nothing was cracked beneath the surface. But I tracked everything. Her phone left face down on the table. A late-night shower with clothes hidden at the bottom of the hamper. A perfume I'd never smelled before, clinging faintly to her hair. I said nothing. Words were weapons, and I wasn't ready to strike. Instead, I pulled threads. Quietly, methodically. I asked my brother for still frames from the footage. He resisted, then relented. The image was blurred, but the posture, the curve of the jaw, was unmistakable. I slipped a strand of her hair into an envelope and mailed it to a lab. DNA testing. I claimed it was for a genealogy kit. She laughed, didn't suspect a thing. At night, I lay awake, replaying moments I'd ignored. Late calls answered in the bathroom. Excuses dressed as routines. Smiles that no longer reached her eyes. Every piece of evidence whispered the same truth. The woman I loved was not the woman she pretended to be. And still, I stayed quiet, because silence sharpens the blade. The results arrived on a gray Thursday. A plain envelope, unremarkable. But inside, confirmation. DNA on the murder weapon matched her. No margin of doubt. No trick of the light. That night, I placed the envelope on the dining table, sat across from her, said nothing. She picked it up, confused at first. Then her face drained as her eyes scanned the report. Her lips trembled. She opened her mouth to explain, but I only raised my hand. Don't. The silence crushed her. Her mask shattered, leaving only raw fear behind. I felt nothing. No rage, no heartbreak. Just clarity. I slid my phone across the table. A recording played. My brother's voice, steady now. She's on the tape, clear as day. Her hands shook. "You don't understand." "I understand perfectly." My voice was ice. I stood, walked past her, and opened the front door. "The police will be here in 10 minutes. I made sure they got the evidence first. Her breath hitched. She reached for me, desperation raw. "Please don't do this." I looked at her one final time, a stranger in my wife's skin. "You already did this. to yourself." And I stepped outside. The night air was sharp, clean. Behind me, I heard her cry out, a sound stripped of control, the sound of someone realizing the game was over. I didn't turn back, not once. There was no pity left in me, no anger either, just the quiet satisfaction of truth exposed, deception burned to ash. Some betrayals don't deserve rage. They deserve silence. And silence was all I gave her. Because the moment I closed that door, she ceased to exist. I didn't lose a wife that night. I buried an illusion.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.